Welcome to How to Renew Your Student Visa, a video guide by Brunel International. We recommend that you try to submit your visa application in good time. If you apply too late, you may lose any right of appeal should there be a problem with your application. We recommend that you apply no more than 3 months before your current visa is due to expire. If you are an LIBT student, some of the following information may be different or may not apply to you.
If in any doubt, please email us at immigration@brunel.ac.uk.
Before starting to complete the form, you must get a confirmation of acceptance of studies or CAS reference number from the university.
You should also have been given a CAS statement which shows the details of your course or offer.
You will need these details to complete this form. If you are making this visa application for a completely new course, the CAS will be issued by Brunel International's admissions office. If you are a continuing student applying for a visa to complete an existing course, the CAS will be issued by the Student Centre. Please note that the following information applies to those students whose applications are fairly straightforward.
If you feel that some of the information does not apply because your situation is different, please email immigration@brunel.ac.uk for advice.
Decide whether you want to apply using the Student Batch Scheme. This is a free service offered by Brunel International. We will check your application and supporting documents and submit the application on your behalf to a dedicated section of the UK Borders Agency, or UKBA, which specialises in student visas. This method is usually quicker than if you send the application yourself, and we will deal with all correspondence on your behalf.
Unfortunately, we are not able to offer this service to LIBT or prospective students. This application method costs £386,
the same as if you decide to send the application yourself by post. Alternatively, you may wish to make an in-person application at a public inquiry office, often referred to as a premium appointment. You should receive a decision on your application the same day, and will then just have to wait for the new visa to arrive.
This application method costs £702. You can book the appointment online by visiting the UKBA Home Office website or by calling 0870 606 7766. Your new visa will arrive in the form of a biometric residence permit, or BRP. It will no longer be an entry in your passport. From then on, you will have to carry both the BRP and your passport whenever travelling to or from the UK.
So now you are ready to complete the form. First, please make sure to use the current version of the application form.
You can download the form from the UK Borders Agency website
at www.ukba.homeoffice.gov.uk/studying in the UK/adult-students. You can also download the Tier 4 policy guidance and help text from the same page. Make sure to complete the form using black ink and block capitals. Page 2. Section A, Payment Details.
A0. Tick to show that Brunel is a highly trusted sponsor.
A1. Tick to show whether you are making a postal application or an in-person application at a public inquiry office. If you are submitting the application through the Student Batch Scheme, please leave A2 and A3 blank, as we will insert our contact details here. Otherwise, please insert your address at A2, and if you wish to give an alternative contact name at A3, please do so. If not, leave A3 blank. Complete A4 with your full name as shown in your passport. Enter your date of birth at A5. Now choose your payment method. We would never recommend paying by personal cheque. We also do not recommend paying by credit or debit card for any postal applications, as payment refusals may occur. If this happens, your visa application will be returned to you as invalid. We strongly recommend that you pay by postal orders. If you are using the student batch scheme, we will only accept postal orders to pay the application fee. You can buy these at any post office. Please tell the post office the total amount needed and ask them to make the postal orders payable to Home Office. If you have dependents who are applying at the same time as you, please add their application fee to the total. The post office will charge a fee for issuing postal orders. Write your name, nationality and date of birth on the back of each postal order, in the space under the gift aid section. You do not need to complete any of the gift aid section, and your address is not required. Page 3. A19. If you have any dependents who are applying at the same time as you, please enter their details here. Page 5, Section B, Personal Details. B1. Tick to show you are enclosing 2 photos.
Please read the UKBA photo guidance to make sure your photos completely meet the requirements. If you send unacceptable photos, your application will be returned to you as invalid.
Complete B2 to B10. If you do not have any reference numbers to enter at B11, B12 or B14, or cannot remember, don't worry, just leave these boxes blank. B13. If you have worked in the UK, you must have a national insurance number and should enter it here. If not, leave the box blank. B15.
If your current visa was issued as a biometric residence permit, please enter the card number which is shown in the top right-hand corner of the card. Otherwise, leave the box blank.
Enter your address and contact details in B16 to B21. If your visa required you to register with the police, the address you give must be the same as that shown on your police registration certificate.
Your police registration certificate must contain your current passport details, your current visa information and your current address on it. You must include your police registration certificate with your application.
If you are applying through the student batch scheme, we will enter our details at B22, B23 and B24. If you are applying by yourself and wish to give alternative contact details, then you may do so, otherwise leave blank.
Make sure to tick yes or no at B25. If you tick yes, then make sure to fill in the details in Annex AB1 on page 31.
Pages 8 to 10. Section C, Passport or travel documents and
biometric residence permit.
Complete C1 to C5 as necessary. Please read C6 carefully. You must give details of any passports that you have used to travel to and remain in the UK. If you are not able to enclose any required passports, then you must explain why in C7 and/or C8 on page 10. C9.
If your current visa was issued in the form of a biometric residence permit, please tick yes and complete the details in Annex AC1 to AC3 on page 32. If you are not able to enclose the biometric residence permit, you must explain why in AC2 to 3 on pages 32 to 33.
Page 10, Section D, Immigration History. This section refers to your visas. D1 to D4 relate to the visa you were given to enter the UK for the current period of study. Even if you have since renewed your visa in the UK, D1 to D4 relate to the first visa only. Therefore, you need to enter the country and city where it was issued at D2. In D3, please enter the number shown in the top right-hand corner of your visa. This number is usually shown in red. Enter the date this visa was valid from at D4. Now enter the expiry date of your current visa at D5. D6.
Tick yes or no. If yes, remember to complete Annex D AD1 on page 33. D7. Tick yes or no. If yes, remember to complete Annex D AD1 on page 33. If you only have one passport, tick no.
D8. Look at your current visa to see what type of visa it is. Tick the box which shows the same type. D9. Tick to say if you are receiving official financial sponsorship. Remember that under Tier 4, a parent or family member cannot be your sponsor. You are considered to be self-funding. However, if your sponsor does meet the criteria as shown in the Tier 4 policy guidance, tick yes and remember to complete Annex D AD6
on page 34.
If you are being financially sponsored, you must include a financial sponsor letter that meets UKBA's requirements with your application. For D10 to D20, please read each question carefully and answer truthfully. Page 13, Section E, Personal History. Please read E1 to E9 carefully and answer all of them truthfully. Page 17, Section F, Biometric Enrolment. F1. Answer yes or no. Complete F2 only if you answered yes to F1. F3. Answer yes or no. If you are unable to remember all the details to enable you to complete F4, please give as much information as you can recall, or write cannot remember. Just be truthful. Page 18, Section G, Other Details.
G1. Answer yes or no. If yes, remember to complete Annex G AG1 on page 36. G2. Answer yes or no. If yes, remember to complete Annex G AG2 on pages 37 to 38.
Page 18, Section H, Tier 4 Sponsor Contact Details. H1. Brunel University is your Tier 4 sponsor, so enter Brunel University. H2.
Our full address is Brunel University, Kingston Lane, Uxbridge, Middlesex.
The postcode is UB8 3PH. H3. Our sponsor license number is 0BT931EY6. If you are an LIBT student, you will need to ask LIBT for the information to enter at H1, H2 and H3. Page 19, Section J, Course Details. J1 to J2. Enter the relevant information as shown on your CAS statement. J3. As you have already entered our full address at H2, you should tick the box after or. Page 20, Section K, Attributes. K1. Write the CAS number given to you by Brunel University. Brunel will have uploaded details of the CAS to UKBA's database. This number will allow UKBA to verify the details you give. K2. Tick the box next to studying. K3. If the CAS statement shows details of the qualifications used to obtain your offer, then you must tick the first box and make sure to enclose the original certificates or transcripts mentioned. If these are not in English, then you must also enclose certified translations of these documents. Check the Tier 4 policy guidance to ensure the translations are acceptable. If the CAS statement says you are a continuing student and that the university is satisfied with your progress, please tick the second box. There is no need to enclose your qualifications. K4. If the course for which you are applying for a visa is only an English course, tick yes and tick the relevant box at K5. For any other course, tick no and go to K6. K6. Check your CAS statement to see if ATAS is required. If you are in any doubt, check with Brunel International. If your course does require an ATAS certificate, and if you have not already applied, please do so without delay, as it takes a few weeks to get a certificate. You must apply online for this by visiting the following website: www.fco.gov.uk/ATAS. K7. If you ticked yes at K6, you must tick yes at K7 and remember to enclose the ATAS certificate. Page 22, Section L, Maintenance. L1. Please enter the tuition fees due for the first year of your course, as listed in your CAS. Even if you have already paid some or all of the fees, enter the original total figure here. L2. Now enter the amount that you have paid so far, as listed in your CAS. If you have paid in full and received a discount, write includes discount of however many percentage paid in full alongside the box.
If you have received any discounts, we recommend that you obtain a manual receipt from Brunel International's Finance Office to show this and include it with your application.
L3. You must tick whichever of these boxes applies to you. L4. It is very important to select the correct box to tick for this question before continuing with the rest of the application form. Initial application will only apply to you if your current visa is not a student visa or Tier 4 student visa, so you will probably need to tick one of the following two boxes instead. To qualify for the reduced maintenance level, you must have been studying in the UK and completed a course that was at least 6 months long within your last period of leave as a Tier 4 migrant or a student, and this course must have finished within the last 4 months. Or be currently studying on a course and have completed at least 6 months of that course and have been studying within the last 4 months. If you meet these criteria, you qualify for the reduced maintenance level, so you must tick the bottom box and go to L8.
Remember, if you qualify for reduced maintenance, you must prove this to the UK Borders Agency.
If you do not meet these criteria, you do not qualify for the reduced maintenance level, so you must tick the middle box and go to L5. If you are in any doubt about which box to tick, please read the Tier 4 policy guidance or email us. Whether you were directed to L5 or L8, please tick the box which shows that your primary site of study is Outer London. Brunel University is classed as being in Outer London for visa purposes. If you are directed to L5 and then to L7, you will need to know how many months or part months the course for which you are applying for this visa will be. Multiply the number of months by £600 and write the result in the box at L7. For example, if your course will be for 4 months, then 4 times £600 will be £2,400. Remember that there is a maximum of 9 months to show, so if your course is for more than 9 months, you only need to show 9 times £600, which will be £5,400. Then go to L11. If you are directed to L8 and then to L10, you have already demonstrated that you are able to support yourself in the UK. Therefore, you only need to show a maximum of 2 times £600. So even if your course is for longer than 2 months, you still only need to show a maximum of £1,200 in the box at L10. If you are unsure about this calculation, please email immigration@brunel.ac.uk. L11. If you will be living on campus for the period for which you are applying for the new visa, and if you have already made a payment for this accommodation to the university, please tick yes, and then write the amount you have paid so far in the box at L12. Tick the correct box at L13.
If you will be living off campus, please tick no at L11 and go to L14.
L14. If you are receiving official financial sponsorship, tick yes and complete L15 and L16. In L16, you should write the amount your sponsor is paying towards your annual tuition fees. If you receive an annual amount for living costs, then write that total amount in the maintenance box. However, if your sponsor pays you a monthly sum for your living costs, then write the monthly figure in the maintenance box and write the words per month in the space to the right. L17. Remember that Brunel University are your Tier 4 sponsors. If we are giving you a scholarship or bursary, please tick yes and complete L18 and L19. If we are not giving you any scholarship or bursary, then tick no and go to L20. L20. If you have an official financial sponsor who pays all your tuition fees and at least £600 per month towards your living costs, you may tick no and go to L22. The sponsor letter you will enclose to show this must meet the guidelines shown in the Tier 4 policy guidance. If you are living on campus and you have paid some or all of your accommodation fees, you should deduct the figure you wrote in L12 from the figure you wrote on page 23 in L7 or L10. If the result is 0 or less, then you have no maintenance outstanding. If you have also paid all your tuition fees, then you may tick no and go to L22. If you have any tuition fees outstanding, tick yes and go to L21. If you have paid all of your tuition fees, remember that you still have to show the maintenance figure that you wrote on page 23 in L7 or L10, so you must tick yes and go to L21. L21. If you have any tuition fees outstanding, write the amount in the course fees box. Write the amount you calculated on page 23 in the maintenance box. Add the two amounts together to make the total. This is the amount you must have in your bank account. This money must have been in your bank account for at least 28 days before the bank statement is produced. You must supply at least 1 month's bank statements. The final date of the statement must be no more than 1 month old when your application is submitted. If the required amount has not been in your bank for the whole 28 days, or has dropped below the required amount at any point during that period, you will fail to meet the maintenance requirement. This will result in your application being refused. L22. If you will be using your own bank statements, or if you are fully sponsored by an official financial sponsor, tick yes and go to L24. If you will be using your parents' bank statements, tick no and complete L23. L24. If you are able to tick no at L22 and you are certain this was correct, then you do not need to supply any bank statements. In this case, tick the bottom box, no money owed, no evidence needed. In all other cases, you must tick the box which applies to you. If you are still unsure about any part of Section L, please email immigration@brunel.ac.uk. Page 25, Section M, Public Funds. M1. You are highly unlikely to be receiving money from the UK government, so you will almost certainly need to tick no. Please note that council tax exemption does not count as public funds.
Page 26 and 27, Section NA. Consent for the UK Border Agency to request verification checks. You must give your permission to the UKBA to allow them to make checks of any financial documents you have provided in support of your application. Make sure you read and sign this section. If you are providing financial documents which you share with anyone else, for example, a joint bank account statement, the person you hold the account with must sign here to give permission to the UKBA to make checks of these documents. If you are providing financial documents belonging to your parents or legal guardian, they too must sign here to give permission to the UKBA to make checks of these documents. Page 28 and 29.
Section N. Student Declaration. Please read these pages carefully, then enter your full name, signature and date.
Page 30. Section O.
Representatives' Details and Declaration. O1. Unless you are using someone like a solicitor to deal with your application, tick No. If you will be applying through the Student Batch Scheme, please tick No. Summary Sheet. You need to complete this page carefully to show what documents you are enclosing in support of your application. Remember, all documents must be originals, and if not in English, you will need to supply certified translations. Part A. Write how many of each you are enclosing. If your visa does not state that you must register with the police, then you do not need to enclose a police registration certificate. You would only need to enclose a marriage certificate if you have a husband or wife who are applying as your dependents at the same time as you. You only need to include a birth certificate if you are using your parents' bank statements. You only need to include a driving licence if you gave details of a criminal conviction for a motoring offence in Section E. Part B. You must enclose 2 photos, so write 2. You only need to enclose a letter of consent from your parent or guardian if you are using their bank statements for your maintenance evidence, or if you are 16 or 17 years old when making the application. If you are enclosing any other documents, for example, academic certificates or transcripts or ATAS certificates, please write them in the remaining lines. If you run out of space, you should continue on a separate sheet. Points scoring area. You must claim your points, as you need 40 points to get a Tier 4 student visa. For possession of a CAS, write 30 in the points claimed box. If you are enclosing a copy of the CAS statement, write that in the documents provided box. Otherwise, leave it blank. Please note that you do not have to include the CAS statement. In the maintenance points claimed box, write 10 and then list the documents you are including as evidence, for example, bank statements, university receipts or financial sponsorship letter, in the documents provided box.
It is very important that the documents you enclose to show your maintenance requirement meet the criteria as listed in the Tier 4 policy guidance. You can download this document from the UK Border Agency website.
In the total box, write 40. Your application is now complete. The annex should only be completed if you were directed to any of these pages while completing earlier sections. If not, leave them blank, but do not detach them from the form. If you are attending a premium appointment, please remember to keep photocopies of all your documents for your own records. If you are sending the application to the UKBA yourself, please remember to take 2 sets of photocopies of all the documents you will be enclosing. Send 1 set with the application and keep 1 set for your own records.
We also suggest that you keep photocopies of pages 2, 22, 23, 24, 25 and 30 of the application form.
Choose whether to send the application by post or by courier, and make sure to put the correct address for the method you choose as shown on the front of the form. If you send your application by post, make sure to send it by recorded delivery or special delivery and keep the receipt. You will be able to check the package has been delivered, and if you are posting the application close to the date of your visa expiry, This will prove that you sent it in time. Keep the receipt safe. Ask at any post office or visit the Royal Mail website for details and prices of each delivery option. If you send it by courier, the date the courier delivers the package and it is signed for is the date that UKBA will record as your date of application. So if your visa is due to expire within a few days, it would be better to send the application by post using recorded delivery and get proof of posting in time. This will avoid the possibility that the courier is unable to deliver your package in time. If you wish to submit your application through the student batch scheme, make sure to arrange an appointment with us in plenty of time. At certain times of the year, we are exceptionally busy and may not be able to offer you an appointment if you leave it too late. When you attend the appointment, you must bring your fully completed application form, together with your supporting documents, postal orders and photos.
To book an appointment with us, please fill out the online form at www.brunel.ac.uk/international/immigration.
We will then contact you to offer an appointment.
If you are unsure about any sections you have completed and would like more help, please note that we offer visa sessions during term time to answer your questions.
Please check the immigration pages of our website, look out for our posters, or ask at Brunel International's reception for dates and times of the visa sessions. Good luck with your application.